Welcome back to another episode with Mystic
Mystic
Scales
Scales
and Fae
and
Tales
Fae Tales
podcast.
podcast.
I'm your host, Jennifer.
And I'm Leigh.
We are a fantasy, romance, and dystopian podcast. Welcome back. If it's your first time, welcome for the first time.
Yay.
We are very excited because today is one of our longer episodes and we are talking about a book that we are reading in our book club. So you should definitely join our book club if you haven't already on the app Babel. We are Mystic Scales and Fae Tales, like same name on the book club, but you also can just look up Fae Tales and it will come up right away. So we have been deep involved in the Grishaverse. So definitely spoilers ahead for the book we're going to talk about. And what is that book?
So we are doing Shadow and Bone, which is technically the
Dun, dun,
first one
dun.
in the Grishaverse. We kind of jumped around a little and we read the second installment in the entire series. So that was Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it was fine. I think we got the world, and now we get to kind of like dive a little deeper into the world of the
I think we get a
Grishaverse.
really fun perspective that obviously, like when this first was coming out, people weren't getting because this came out first and then Six of Crows came out. And I have been finding it really intriguing. We'll deep dive into it. But I think it's cool that we did it this way. Like we get like a different experience. Obviously these books
Yeah.
came out a while ago and they were in the prime YA fantasy
Mm.
dystopian era, and it's so sad that we missed it. But there were so many other
Mm-hmm.
amazing books during that time that we were divulging into. I believe this book is 2012. So that's like,
2012.
prime time for YA, dystopian fantasy time. And that is just where we, as readers, me and Leigh, peaked. We are
Yeah,
part of that fandom. We are nostalgia. We are constantly going back to it. Ironically enough, because I am currently reading Shadow and Bone and I'm also reading Red Queen right now. Like, I am
you
deep
are.
in that era. So it
Yeah,
is so
yeah.
fun to go back into and to feel and to get the feels from it. And
And it's
hopefully for
funny
another
because
renaissance to come for it.
yeah, like we just did a post recently on our Instagram where we were talking about like books that kind of like reinvigorate our reading if we're ever in a slump or whatever, and we discovered that YA is kind of our go-to. Like that'll
Yes,
like kickstart us. So this feels very fitting that
it's our
we're in an
comfort for
older,
sure.
yeah. So I love it.
I don't know what that says about us. I think someone should do a deep dive into our
Our
psyches to let
psyche.
us know what happened and why we comfort ourselves so much with YA literature, more than teenagers, I guess. But it is really great. So we're gonna do something a little different on this episode. We are
Hmm.
gonna break down the book as we read. We tried this once with the Book of Asriel,
A book we
PTSD.
did not like. Yeah.
A book we did not like with our book club. That our book club ended up the one and only series our book club has DNF'd. And I should say our book club has 600 members. So to DNF this book was a big deal.
It was.
Um, but it was the first time on this podcast and like with the group that we decided like going like splitting into chapters. It was a chunky gal.
Mm-hmm.
But for this one, we thought it'd be fun because we're doing such a deep dive into this universe with Six of Crows, and then we're reading Shadow and Bone, and then we're gonna go on to King of Scars, to split this in half, and let's like read it in half, talk about it, and then read the other half and talk about it. So if you are just starting along, great, you can read along with us for half.
Yeah.
Which I found this, I
So,
don't know if you found it fun, but I did. I love texting
yeah.
you and being like, hey, what page are you on? I'm on
Hmm.
this page. Let's talk. Like, it was
Right.
so cute.
Yes. And being very conscious of like, because in the book club and on the app Fable, like you can comment chapter by chapter. So being like, okay, I can't look at, chapter 12, even though someone has commented because I'm not there yet, and like we're not there yet. So definitely some discipline. But it's been good. And I think it's been like we're not rushing through it,
No.
like we get to take our time, and I like that. So,
Yeah, I was gonna say this is like a better format because I feel like what we've been doing, we've just like a lot of times we listen to the audiobooks and stuff, and we struggle with reading physically, and
yeah.
I think us being like, okay, let's just get up to page 100. Let's just get a page 130. Like, it's definitely helping with the pressure of this, of like
Mm-hmm.
reading to like get to the episode or get to the book club. Like, where
Mm-hmm.
to, it feels like I could get through a physical book easier like this. And I
Yeah,
don't know if it's just because we're mimicking, like, as if we were in school and we were like, okay,
maybe.
kids, tonight you're going to read chapters 12 to 15. I'm like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
I just did it. I got through chapter whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because like I'm always every time I sit down with the physical book, man, I start to fall asleep.
Yeah,
'Cause I'm just
this is a
so
testament for sure.
yeah. So this has been nice to like sit down.
Yeah, not too like the font is good, like size
Yes.
wise,
It's very digestible. I'm not feeling overwhelmed to the point that I'm
yeah,
like, I can't do this.
yeah. So I
Yeah,
approve.
we both have the paperback, which we were just talking before we started. Unfortunately, the Netflix TV show sticker is on printed on, so we can't take it off. And the book also has like a I don't know, this is like shortened
Mm,
cover, so like the inside page is longer. I guess for a design aspect, but we don't love it. I don't really get
yeah.
it. But when you open it, they have a beautiful design with a quote inside. And I do love that they put the praise on the cover. I think that's smart. And then we get, like, when you actually open it, you get the breakdown of the Grisha, which is also in Six of Crows books as well. And
Mm.
then you get the map that they also, I have to check if it's the same map, but it's a similar map.
I think so because I don't know,
Um,
like we didn't know the unsee, right?
no, you're right. Oh no, this is a new map for just this. Yeah, because we didn't really see Ravka, obviously. But I like to see how this like with Ketterdam, it felt, I mean, it is not part of it, it is separate. And you feel like it's so separate, the world is so separate. But like with this, it shows you even closer that Fierda and Shuhan are like literally right on top of Ravka. So like when
Mm-hmm.
you go through Nina's journey, you're like, oh wait, they like are so, like, it's closer than you think.
Yeah,
So I'm
that makes
wondering,
sense. Yeah.
I forgot where they caught Nina. Because they had to go on the ocean to
Right.
Fierda. So I don't know.
So maybe it was Jerholm on the west here. I'm not sure.
Oh, maybe.
Um,
I don't know. And my thing is, like, I know with trading, like, I wonder, could they go around the Unsea? Like, it
well, I
ends at
think
Shuhan, so can they go around?
I
Obviously, they
don't
wouldn't go to
know
Fierda.
because I think the whole thing with the unsee is isn't that like the shadow folds?
Yes, that's just Shadowfold.
So I think it's like nearly impossible to cross.
That's what I'm saying. Can't you go around? Because the way that it's drawn here,
Oh, you
it
mean like
looks
through the
like it
mountains?
ends
And
in the
yeah,
mountain range of Shuhan. But maybe the mountain range is, like, uncrossable.
maybe.
I don't know. But this is scary. I just looking at the
Yeah,
design of like that demon
yeah.
creature in the unsea. It's
Mm-hmm.
terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
That's so funny. I was saying to you in the other episodes that when we listened to the audiobooks, I didn't open the physical to look at the map. And even though I have the physical and I'm reading it, I'm still not looking at the map.
No,
But I still
yeah.
love a good map. Put them in every book. I love them. But yeah, I'm not staring at it all the time, which I guess is good. I'm involved in the writing.
Yeah, it's funny. We've been also talking you because you're reading Red Queen, so we're talking so much about Powerless. This reminds me of Powerless and that like random ocean that they had to cross with that like sea witch monster
Oh my God, I forgot about that. That blipped that out, that scene in my head.
because it didn't connect to the rest of the story.
Yeah, very true. Okay, so let's get into this. So, in today's episode, we are going to talk about chapters 1 till 9, read to the end of 8, and we stopped at
Yeah.
9. It's almost halfway. Halfway of the book is page 160 something, and we're on 134. So, we're like 30 pages off from the halfway point. So, very close. And then next episode, we will finish the entire book. And the nice thing about our paperback is, which she did this in Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom, there's a lot of extra bonus content. So there's an extra letter from Mal to Elaine. Is it Elena?
I think Alina. That's a great question. Alina? I don't know.
Um, There is a Q&A from the author, which Leigh loves to read those. There's some discussion questions maybe we can go over. And then like a sneak peek to shadow the next book in the series.
Yeah.
Yeah, is it Elena? I think it's Elena. We should have probably looked that up. Elena. Yeah. Like Lee, Lee, na. Elena.
Okay. Alina, can I tell you that I thought this book had a male protagonist and I kept waiting for him to show up?
Wait, why did you think
Um,
that?
because like when I was reading, there was this Nicholas character and I thought he was the main character. And then I started reading this and I just the whole, and we haven't even done the back of the book ad, but the whole orphan thing felt like a precursor to me. So then finally I like read the back of the book and I was like, is this gonna be her the whole time? It is. So I just had to switch my brain a
I
little, but
think
I was like,
Nicholas is a different character because I saw fan art for that.
yeah,
I think that's, isn't that a king?
I think he's important later. Um,
Yeah.
and again, like
Something we'll find out about.
I haven't watched or looked up anything for the Netflix show, so in my head I was like, okay, Nicholas is what's his face? Ben Barnes. But
Oh.
I don't know if that's true or not. Um,
Do you want to know who Ben Barnes is or you want to wait still?
no, I mean I think I do know now because you posted one thing and I was like, oh, I think I know. But I'm not gonna acknowledge it.
Until we watch it. Got it,
So
got it, got it, got it. Yeah, so I did watch the show many years ago when it first came out, and I did not realize how much I remembered. Because I'm
oh,
reading it and I'm like, I remember all of this.
oh,
Like, I remember
wow.
a lot of what we see. I remember meeting her, meeting Mal. I remember meeting the Fold. I remember them. I think I remember them trying to cross and that whole thing happening. But like also I'm reading it, so like I'm visualizing it in the book. So I'm like I don't
Mm,
remember if I'm visualizing the show in the
mm,
book. I can't imagine they would take that out. I think I remember her going to the thing, and then I remember that they had the flashbacks of them at the orphanage,
okay.
and then I think I remember her meeting what's her name, Genya,
Mm-hmm.
and but I don't remember. I guess I remember the Darkling stuff. I don't remember like her meeting the king and queen. But it could be in the show. It's not that it's not in the show. I just like I'm trying to like visualize it and read. And then I think I go up to the part in the show a little after training and then like she discovers something that connects to the cover image. So that's like I remember from the show because I'm reading it and I'm like, "Oh, this is coming back to me." But I think what that I'm like having trouble visualizing what she's supposed to look like. Because obviously I remember what the girl from the show looks like. And I was like, I need to go back and look at the descriptions from the book because also
Yeah,
like the thing I'm struggling with is I'm putting all the fan art in for the club,
yeah.
and this is really hard to look up stuff and not get spoiled. Like Six of Crows was a little easier because people just made fan art of like the
All the
characters
people.
and the
Yeah.
vibe and the love and the scenes. Like it was so easy to find Six of Crows fan art. This is like I'm just like seeing her with her powers and I'm seeing her with a different color hair, I think. And I don't know if this is a spoiler or not, or if I'm just visualing it wrong and this was like the way that's supposed to be. So like
Well,
I'm struggling to like I have grabbed things from the show because I'm like, this is the world,
yeah.
I don't understand.
Yeah, I saw you made that one comment, but you also posted there was one like drawing of her and she looks very like gaunt and like haunted, but I felt like it was really accurate. So I really liked that one. But like right now I don't remember what color hair she has.
I don't
Um
know either. I don't know. I'm confused. And the
so
show's just like brown hair. Like
that's
yeah,
what
that was a
I'm
showgirl. But then the other ones
picturing.
didn't. So then, and then I found out something about Genya from I don't know if I'm saying her name wrong either, from the fan art too. And I'm just like, ugh, I'm like struggling. So like I might have
Well,
to slow down with it and wait till I get to. But even then, I
okay.
don't know if it's
So
from book two or book three. So it's like,
okay, well, can I in Crooked Kingdom, she has a scar, right?
She's in it?
Genya? Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna ask you this. This is so great because I couldn't remember all of the Grisha we meet
Okay,
In Crooked
yeah.
Kingdom, and so it's Genya.
Yeah, yeah.
Is
And
she
I'm pretty
Nina's trainer, or
yes.
she's the one that helps that fixes Wyatt back?
Yes, yes. But she was with Nina, but she's not like her direct, but like they were, she was probably like a step above Nina.
Okay.
Um, but I'm pretty sure she's described as like she has some deformity, I
Yes,
think.
so that's in the artwork. Is that
Okay.
something happens that we haven't found out yet, that we haven't gotten there
Right.
yet. Because
Right.
right now she's beautiful, but she does have like
Right.
all the artwork I see is something with her eye and
Yeah.
something like cross, and that's probably going to be a big deal because they talk about obviously we've seen that like how good she is at
Hmm.
Is she a fabricator? I'm also like, confused about the magic a little bit. I'm not gonna lie to you. Um,
Also, a little confused. Like I was gonna
I kind of just
say,
like go along for the ride.
I was like, I felt more secure about it in Six of Crows, which feels weird.
I think because we
Um,
only had Nina.
yeah,
So we just had to follow along with her being the heartbender. That was easy to follow. Where now, and like even with, I struggle a little bit with Jesper when they were like describing what a fabricator is.
oh yeah. So, Genya, they call her a tailor, but she
Okay.
wears the white, which is like the same as the servant.
Because she serves the queen. Yeah.
Yeah. So she's kind of an anomaly, I guess.
But she's supposed to be a Grisha. Because like it's like,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
uh, they say it even in here, like, I wonder how she feels like being so close to what you're supposed to be in so far and like being judged for it. So like this is they
Yeah.
pulled her away from it, from what she's supposed to be
Yeah.
doing.
And then you had also commented, and Fable wouldn't let me comment because it was a picture. It was dumb. You were like, "Oh, I wonder where Nina is at this point." And I think like there's got to be a decent time gap between these if Genya gets out of this situation, out of her servitude, and becomes part of the second army, you know? So I
Yeah,
think
I started to
that's
think that this is like a long time before. Because
mhm.
if Genya's young and is like
Yeah, at least
uh
5 years,
her
you
age,
know?
like they're like six, are they like 16? Are they 17?
Let's say they're a little older, but that wouldn't make sense. So let's go with that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we'll find out because like I feel like this would have been talked about, like whatever comes to fruition from the end of this book, like if we're assuming the fold gets fixed and stuff, if it
Mhm.
wasn't, I feel like this is what would have been talked about
Well,
in
okay.
Six of Crows too.
Yeah, because now I'm
I guess this
thinking,
is the hard thing of us going in the wrong way. We're
I
trying to
guess
piece it
so.
backwards.
Oh, yeah. But like, so the Darkling is 120, right?
Yes, but he looks her age.
And I I don't remember feeling like they had a huge like I didn't remember feeling icky if she's like 16. So I feel like she's older.
I
But I
think
don't
she's
know if that
16.
makes I don't know if that makes sense because yeah, it's YA.
Let me see. I'm gonna look it up. Also another clue. She's 17 when the story begins.
Okay.
Another clue that this is earlier is that in Crooked Kingdom, the king is different. This is not the same king.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
And I think he even mentions like he took the throne. Was it after? I don't remember what they said if it was like after a death or after a coup. I don't know. Like, remember, there's a civil war that has to happen, and I don't
right.
think it's happened.
No.
I
And
think that's what this series is.
yeah, I think I know something
Look
about
at
the
us
king.
spoiling Ten on Bone because we read Six of Crows.
But it's like I don't know. It's like when you read a spin-off, but not whatever. I think it's fine.
I think what is interesting though is that like we went into Six of Crows and we read it, and it was so good, so good. One of the best books ever this year, so far. And like we get to see how the Grisha are treated outside.
Mm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
Darkling does mention that. I took the picture. Oh, I should find the page that was on. And he mentions like how the Grisha, like when he went to go form the second army, like people came immediately because they're not treated well. And it's like we see that, and then now we're seeing that like here, like a world where even though like it's the same world, a different cut, like because you're in Ravka, it's like a whole different world of seeing like the Grisha being treated like royalty, and people with not magic not being treated equally. It's not like an equal playing ground. It's still uneven no matter what. And you would think it might be like even because of the fact that they're treated so badly elsewhere. So you go into like I kind of like went into this thinking that it would be more evil playing field, but it doesn't feel like that. It feels like people that are not Grisha also like they fear the Grisha, but they also don't respect them. And so I was just
Right.
like, this is so interesting.
Yeah, because the whole like the scene where the Grisha come to like test them as like kids was so interesting because like there was a respect for them, but there was also this fear and kind of like otherness that like their caretaker didn't like the Grisha. And it confused me, like I'll be honest. I was like, how are we
Mm-hmm.
supposed to feel? And then obviously like they get tested and we jump forward to them being like in the army and they're not Grisha, quote unquote. And that was like a relief.
Yeah. But I'm wondering too, is that because of the fold? Like, were they did they respect the Grisha before the fold happened? And like that being
Mm,
caused by the Darkling who technically is Grisha, you know?
right,
And like it
right,
caused so much pain for their lives. That I
right.
wonder how it was before.
And like he was interesting too because he was like honest with her about like a regret of like what his was it great grandfather
It's like
did
his great great grandfather.
to
My
create
great
the
I found her
fold.
here. My great 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 grandfather was the Black Heretic, the Darkling who created the Shadowfold. It was an experiment born of his greed, maybe his evil. I don't know. But every Darkling since that then has tried to undo the damage he did to our country, and I'm no different. So my life searching for ways to make things right, you're fighting the glimmer of hope. The first glimmer of hope I've had in a long time. Um, and I'm still wondering like what is a Darkling essentially? Like what makes them different? Is it only in their line? Like whatever killed? I was like, oh, is it like whatever children they have becomes the Darkling, or is it like there is a Darkling every generation, like born with like the Avatar, born within the generations of different Grisha
Yeah,
families.
yeah,
But it sounds like it's like in his line, and that he's been the
right.
most powerful Grisha or a Darkling. Well, I don't know if he's more powerful than his great 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 grandfather that created the Fold, because he's an amplifier, and he ages slower because of that, because he's amplifying off of himself.
Right. And it's interesting that like his his power isn't just like darkness, which is kind of like what you would assume, but it is the amplification. And then I think what also goes into that is how he wanted her to wear the same color robes as him. So
Mm.
essentially, like he was lumping her with him, and she was like, no.
Yeah, I thought that at first that was because like she's his antithesis, I guess, or like that's
Mm-hmm.
meaning like opposite, right? Because like he's the dark, she's
Yeah,
the light. So I was like, ooh, that's intriguing. But yeah, what did you think
right.
of it?
I mean, I felt like it was him kind of like taking her under his wing, and like obviously,
Mm.
like we sense it, and Genya says it, like that doesn't happen. Like you don't get to be lumped in with him. Um, I'm very curious, like what their relationship is gonna be, because it just, I don't know. I feel
Who,
like
Genya and or the
no,
Darkling and
Darkling and Alina.
oh,
So,
it's not. You're not thinking it's romance. It's clearly going to be the romance.
well, yes, but
Like they sense. She even mentioned like sensing him when he's around.
yeah, but there's this Nicholas
He's so
character
important.
waiting for
And
him.
obviously there's Mal waiting for him.
Yeah. Nicholas.
Waiting
What?
for the Darkling?
No. I'm
Wait, are you
waiting.
sure Nicholas isn't the Darkling? What's the Darkling's name?
Sure.
We didn't get there yet, I guess.
No, I
Wait, we
don't
really didn't
know.
get his name, right?
No, he's just the
It's really
Darkling.
sad.
Yeah.
He has to have a name.
Hmm. So we'll see.
But I found the quote that he says about, he's like, well, our teachers told us that you strengthened the Second Army by gathering Grisha from outside of Ravka. I didn't gather them. They came to me. Other countries don't treat their Grisha so well as Ravka, he said grimly. The Fiedins burn us as witches, and the Kerch sell us as slaves. The Shuhan carve us up, seeking the source of our power. What else? So I was like, ooh, I loved, like, obviously this was the beginning, so she set up so much for later, but she goes back to her work because even like right before we end our where we read, she was describing Baghar, and she said her back was starlight, her body weary like a Suli acrobat. And I just was like, she really set up so much for herself. And I just love that. Like, this is what, 133 pages into her first book of this universe, and to already be setting, like, the things that she could pull from. That's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And that quote, I also remember it standing out when he said, like, came to me. And that was like, okay. So speaking of him, I don't think he's related to the king, but what do you think? Do you think the king's gonna die like soon?
I mean, there has to be at some point because we met the other king in Six of Crows, and we probably
Oh,
shouldn't have done that.
okay.
But
There's so much to talk about. Um, are you seeing any correlations to things that we've read recently?
other books that are not her
Yeah,
books,
yeah.
like seeing how this inspired other books.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Um, I, no, but this might be because right now I'm deep into Red Queen and I just keep feeling really, really bad for Victoria as I'm reading it because of how much Lauren Roberts stole from her for Powerless, which I could probably do
An
it's
episode on.
it's really bad.
Yeah.
Like it's really, really, really bad. Like as I'm reading it, I'm just like my jaw is dropping. I posted on our Instagram story. I sent you a picture
Mm-hmm.
of notes I'm writing of how much was stolen from Red Queen to create Powerless, especially with like the names being similar and different little scenes that like moments. So I think because I'm so into that as I'm reading this one, I'm not noticing
Okay.
this coming into other things. So you tell me what you noticed.
So what just triggered this was the scene with the king where we meet the king, and then there's this like weird priest with him, creepy priest.
Oh, Shield of
And
Sparrows.
yeah. Also, I think the Volcra, which are those creatures, are just like very reminiscent of whatever is in Shield of Sparrows that attack
Hmm.
them. And I'm not saying this like in a bad way or anything. I'm just like, oh, like I'm
That feels
seeing.
like a That's different from what I'm
Yeah.
saying with Red Queen. Like that feels
Yeah.
like a correlation of things of like, oh, like a hint or a remembrance to
Hmm.
something. Where the ones in Red Queen, like if you guys listening read Red Queen or have read Red Queen and then read Powerless or vice versa, you will see that like Lauren Roberts with Powerless stole a lot from Red Queen. Like there's a scene where like little like things that are just happening beat for beat, like having the guard that's like secretly working with her, or her coming into her power or whatever and being in the castle and then becoming into the rebellion. And
Like
then there's
the
like
dance
even like
lessons.
she doesn't know how to dance, so she's gonna
Mm.
she's learning but not doing well. So then the prince that she clearly shouldn't be, she wants to be with but can't be with, powerless, has a teaches comes back at night, she trying to dance. And then Lauren put that in her fucking book in Powerless. Like, there's so many things that are like direct stealing. And I have to, because I know that people also, there's direct stealing of lines too. So I'm going to have to try to see if I can catch that, even though that's going to be a little hard. But I've heard
Yeah,
that too.
especially listening.
It's really
Yeah.
sad. Yeah, I'm really, really, really sad. I feel so bad for Victoria and like our pure YA. But yeah, so that's really cool that you caught that though. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
this
like
reminded me of this book.
this feels more like we said, like it's the height of YA, so like this was inspirational. Another one that is like we could argue about the intention for that is like for me, like Alina is also very close to Violet in Fourth Wing
Mm.
with her not only like her power but like the fact that it's like the most like extreme power and they need it and like I'm just waiting for because we haven't gotten to the part where she like trains with this person and I'm just waiting for them to like abuse her essentially and just kind of see what other things that are very similar to what Rebecca Yarros has pulled in Violet's training and growth. And I mean, I think someone in our group also commented like Shadow Daddy, which I don't think that was a
This is the
thing
boring of Shadow Daddy, though.
in
Yeah, it's so
2012.
interesting reading it backwards in a sense. Like, I'm so happy that we're reading it now to just like say we've read it, but it would have, like reading those things back then to see how it affected it. Because like as I'm reading it, I don't think I'm thinking necessarily of like other books it reminds me of, but I'm like, okay, this feels cookie cutter YA. Like this feels like going to
Mm,
the king, the throne
yeah,
room.
yeah,
Like that's even like Throne of Glass and Selena meeting Dorian and like
right.
there's things in here that is just like, oh, like they do this and this is like yeah they have a training then they do yeah that's just like cookie cutter YA but we say that because that was the start of it, was these books. These
Hmm.
books are what inspired the cookie cutter YA system that we now see in a lot of these books. So it's so interesting because you're just like it's hard to like look at it from the old like when it
Right,
happened originally
right,
to now
right.
perspective.
Yeah, but I mean, I love that we get to go back and kind of see the roots of it all, you know?
Yes, that's perfect way, the roots of it all.
Yeah. Um, okay. What else we want to talk about?
Well, we should talk about her as a character. Like, how are you liking her? I kind of feel like she's bleh.
I
Not gonna
kind of
lie, she's
agree.
giving bleh.
Yeah, I had a moment the other day where I actually like just randomly was thinking about this and I was like, I just don't really like a lot of female main characters. And I was
Hmm.
like, Katniss is like a real exception. And like she gets annoying. Like we can admit that, especially because she's first person. But yeah, I agree. Like Alina, I think she's supposed to be relatable in that, like, especially the scene where she like meets Genya and is getting tailored, but like isn't very attractive. And I don't know, she's not gonna make her super attractive, but like even seeing like the blush on her cheeks, like, oh, I don't know. I like her relationship with the Darkling. Like, I think there's intrigue there. Her relationship with Mal is sad, because you like the
That was
OG
giving Katniss
guy.
and Gale.
Yeah, the OG guy
It
is
was
never.
so Katniss and Gale. But it's like, is it the OG guy that like she wanted to be with, or the OG guy that like just gave her comfort, so she thought that's the way it's supposed to go? Like,
Well,
did she
yeah.
really?
And
You
like
know,
this letter from him, I'm like nervous about because I also am imagining him betraying her at some point.
it felt like that, right? Like it was giving vibes of like, oh, I trust him because I grew up with him, but I'm like, you should keep
Yeah.
your eye on him. He doesn't feel like that
Yeah.
now growing up,
Right.
which
So
is Gale. That's why I was like, he's Gale.
hmm I almost like wanted him to die just to be like, okay, that's over with. But
Yeah, I
yeah.
was like, be your motivation. Like, let him be your motivation. But
Yeah. Um, so yeah, and I mean just the testament of like we can't really remember what she looks like. That's like okay. Or I didn't
yeah,
want it
it's
to be
crazy
her.
because there's a few like recent female characters that like I truly did like all of the female characters that were in Six of Crows. I mean, the two of them.
Mm,
But like I enjoyed them. I
that's
enjoy
true.
the Night and the Moth. I'm enjoying Red Queen. Actually, I really like her.
Remind me her name. What's the Red Queen girl's name?
More, I think,
Oh, okay. I thought
or
it was an F.
Mara, or the only reason I swear to God, I'm listening to the book. But she has like two names because she has like the name that she like first started with and the name that they're like fake giving her, so I
Okay,
confuse
okay.
them constantly. But it's with an M. So I liked her. I've liked them, and there's a few other female characters I've liked. But then yeah, we did have a stride for a while where I think the books we were reading they were very insufferable. And
Yeah.
this one she's not insufferable to me yet. She's
Right.
just like there. Like it
Mhm.
doesn't feel like I should be connected to her in that aspect. Like I definitely and I know that when we were our book club, like even one of our members mentioned like, oh, they finally hit a stride with the book. Like it took a little bit. Where obviously when we read Six of Crows, like it didn't take a bit. Like you were like intrigued. You were like hit the ground running. And I think that even the same person had mentioned that like this feels much younger. And I'm like, it's interesting because like yes and no. Like they're both written for the same age. They're both the same author, but one of them has a better adult crossover than the other, and that's Six of Crows. And this one, I was like, I think what's interesting is that it might feel younger because we have this whole aspect of we watch the author grow in their writing, you know? Like when they get to Six of Crows, it's after this. So they write this entire thing. So it might just feel different because this is the start. And and I definitely could see the difference in the writing in terms of like it's not as
Like
it's very
smart?
like I don't want to say smart. It's very like basic in a way of like, oh, I turned the light
Yeah.
off and then I did this and then I did this
Yeah.
and da 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 da. And it might be because it's in first person and Six of Crows is not,
That's
and it's a
true.
little different.
That's
But
true.
I feel like yeah, the things that they say to each other, the metaphors and just the things that are a little more fleshed out in that series than this one. But we kind of hit the stride running, you know. Like it might have been that she was trying maybe it was intentional to write younger for this because YA is a range of ages. It's not just like strictly it's, you
Sure.
know, 14 and up, but it could be also younger YA. Like sometimes it's like 12 and
Hmm.
up too. So it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
depends.
Yeah. I can also agree. Like I think it took me like 60 pages or so before I was like, okay, like I want to read more rather than like, okay, we're reading this, which
Mhm.
was a little bit of a bummer because we were so into Six of Crows. And you'd think, oh, same world, like yeah. But I think what we talked about before is like fully understanding the like magic is still a little off.
I think too I wish the front like it tells you with the magic like
It just
heart
kind
like
of lists
corporal
them.
Aki, heart yeah, healers, then Etheraki, Squallers and Fairy, Tide Makers, then Meteorology, Duras and Alchemy, but it
But
doesn't
it
tell me
doesn't,
what each thing is.
no.
And that's where I'm struggling, where I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
God. Which is great, because I think that we could just look it up, because like this book's been around for
Yeah.
over 10 years. We could they probably someone has a guide, you know, like we could
Hmm.
probably easily look it up. But if we're not like taking, you know, we're putting our eyes to the page into the screen, we're like, what? What
Yeah.
is your power? What do you do?
Right.
What can you do? What can you not do, you know?
The one, there was one that was interesting. She's being like escorted, right? And there's a couple soldiers and then they get attacked. And one of them, maybe he's a heart render and not a healer. And she says something like, you could have chosen to be a healer. Because essentially, like, his power is that he can kill people, like, better. And she
Mm-hmm.
has the conversation with him about, like, choosing to end life rather than to, like, heal it.
Heal life.
And I thought it was an interesting, because he's so, like, well, this is what my strength is. Like, it just kind of is. And everyone is different. And I've just kind of, like, chosen to like follow this path, and I thought that was like an interesting comment, but also like showed what part of the world is right
Mm-hmm.
that. there are, and I think it'll also lend to like you're saying, like there's going to be a war and there's going to be battles, and the different people will have different strengths for that. Um, I also loved your comment about, oh, she can still write gruesome deaths.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's the one thing. Sorry, I was trying to find the quote that you said that I couldn't find it, but that's the one thing that even though we're going to probably watch this author's writing grow, the one thing she kept in this that she keeps in the other thing is gruesome action. And I'm just like, she does not hold back. So we saw her eye fetish in Six of Crows
Mm-hmm.
and in Crooked Kingdom, something with the eyes. And now this one. But this was really a
I
lot.
I thought I read it wrong. I was like, that's not what
Same.
happened. Like it was gross. Yeah, it was
I
gross.
didn't
So.
realize I read it wrong until she like repeated it too. Cause like I was just
Hmm.
like, oh, he cuts so for the reader. He cuts the Theoden in half.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking it was like a magical thing. I don't
And
know. I
like,
guess I thought at first like it was already he was already off of her. No, like, he was already off of her, and I didn't realize that. No, he cut her in. He cut him in half. Half of him was still on her, and then she has to watch it fall to the ground and bleed out.
yeah,
I'm like, that is disgusting.
yeah.
Like, no wonder she's like kind of afraid of the Darkling at that point.
Right. And that's not even his like main power. Like he can just do that. It's like, what? That's gross.
And I like that detail she adds of like when she talks to him about it, and he like sees her response, and you could tell like he has like a flicker of hurt in his face and looks away
Mm, mm,
because like he doesn't like he's 120 years old, so I can't say like he's just a boy, but
mm.
like he's
But
just a
like,
boy
right.
who wants to like people to like see him as him
Mm-hmm.
and not just
Mm-hmm.
like this dark and scary person.
Right.
And so that's probably what, and she even like she's battling that right now of seeing him that way as like a person and not this persona or what this thing is.
Yeah.
So that's something obviously we're going to see them develop and go through hopefully, and so let's see if it's a romance or not. Who knows?
I mean, yeah, I'm sure it will be. But I think there might be a little push and pull.
Mm,
Uh, I'm also like curious, like, because we haven't gotten to her training yet, but because every time she's used her power without being like in direct harm, he's had to like help it along. So I'm
mm.
curious how long that is gonna continue. Or can
It
she
most
like,
likely will be a thing of them having to work together to take this down.
right, right. Um, which I mean that's another thing, like the shadowing in the darkness and like just blanketing the room, and that is very like common in writing today.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
I have a theory that they, which I could have read this wrong, but they talked about like the fold when it came and there was a whole thing of farmers there and then they disappeared. I
yeah.
think the towns that were there are the Volcra.
Oh, see, that's Shield of Sparrows.
I know. But that's what my theory was. I was like, oh,
It's a
I
good
think that
one.
because they mentioned that they disappeared, so I was like, oh, they
Mm-hmm.
probably became the creatures that live there. That's so sad. Because then when they
That is
discover that,
sad.
they're gonna be like, oh, we're killing fellow Ravkins.
People. Right, right.
So they're
Yeah,
stuck.
yeah. It'll be, yeah,
Those are
it,
also kind of scary. You saw the artwork I posted? It was like, if you
mm-hmm,
guys look it up, the details of that is terrifying. They are
mm-hmm.
creepy.
I didn't like that. It just kind of goes to show that we're in for a ride here. Like this is, part one of book one, and like the groundwork is like barely there. So it'll be good
More questions than answers for sure.
for sure. Yeah, yeah. I also loved you posted, um, it was like the wardrobe basically of the
Oh,
different
thank you for bringing that up.
areas. I
Yes.
loved that. And I love it not only to see it, but also like that it's so specific. that like Leigh Bardugo has created this world and that these different lands have such specific cultures and like you could just see that in what they wear. And they were like the drawings were just beautiful.
As somebody who went to college for costume design, you have no idea how appreciative I am of this world building that she's done because your personality and what you so much shines through in the world of fashion and the things that you wear. And it like literally creates you. And it could show also where you are in your life and what you're feeling and all many things. So I loved the detail of this, the aspect to put this like let me build this world with not only the magic, the the places, but the fabric of the society, literally the fabric of society with these outfits. And I just think that was so genius. I think it's and I love the attachment they have to their wardrobe as well. And we saw that even in Six of Crows, like Cass and his gloves, obviously. Like Mateus and his the Fjordan stuff that he wears, and the seeing Nina in that clothing and what that meant to him, and so many of them. And I lost my thought because of that. Hold on.
Well, this one, you want to talk
Oh,
about the
and
kefta?
yes, so then the kefta, that's where I was going with it. Thank you. And so I just really loved the armor of the kefta in this way and the way that it was like even when they were in the carriage and Ivan right was like take it off and give it to our main girl and the person hesitated and then like how to do it and it's just like that was a huge moment for them and then when she eventually gets her own and she's just staring at it and like is like taking it in and taking on this and mind you it's just a piece of fabric at the end of the day but it has so much meaning and that's this clothing has so much meaning to these people and to their status and to who they are and to their magic and I was like whoa I love that because you don't see that often in a lot of these fantasy books like you really don't and but it
No.
means so much and it's so powerful so I'm sure that the person costume designing the show probably had so much fun because the author set the groundwork for you and set why the importance of everything they're wearing means to these characters and defines them.
Oh my God, yeah.
And I love that concept of it. I love the thought of it.
Did the costumes like stand out to you in the show? Do you remember?
I don't remember. I watched it so long ago. I'm trying not to look it up now because I don't want to spoil it for the show.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
like there's nothing I could definitely say, but I think they will now. I think reading it and knowing how important it is and how much it means to these characters and essentially is the fundamental of who they are, like yeah, it's going to be a huge deal.
yeah. I'm excited. Um, but also sad because it got canceled. So like if
I
it's done really well, it's gonna
know.
be like that's such a bummer.
We're getting so into this. We're loving the books so much that we're going to be so sad when we start the show and be like, okay. Especially because they got through like half of like they started Six of Crows too, and I was just like,
Yeah.
okay.
Like I mean, at least we know what happens. Like it's based on books, we know, but it is always a bummer not to see that finish.
Hmm.
So, wow.
It's sad. Um, so what are your predictions going forward?
That's a great question. I mean, we touched on the main one. So, like, I think she's gonna struggle with her training.
Yeah, because this feels too easy, right? The thought of just like,
Right.
okay, they found her, they trained her, they got her to the fold, everything's better now. That's not how the book's gonna go. There's no way.
Mm-mm. So, yeah, she's gotta struggle. She's gotta have like a little bit of headbutting with the Darkling. And I think it's gonna be like she sees sides to his character that she doesn't love, right? And he's like, this is the way that it has to be. And then she's gonna get closer with Genya, and we're gonna see more building of that and the kind of like rift between the rest of the Grisha, how they don't like them. I do think like at some point, maybe not in this book, but at some point I do think Mel is coming back and I think he's just gonna be like a soldier and something's gonna go wrong. Um, what else do I think?
I think there's something that we don't know. Like I think that
Mm.
what their facade of this world is,
Oh,
there's something
mm-hmm.
that she's gonna find out
With the
that is
Red
gonna change
Rising.
things.
Mm.
Yes. More to the story with the fold and more to the story with the king. and the queen. And obviously, like, we know that there's a civil war either that happened or that is looming. And so, why is that? Who is the cause of that? Who is behind that? Like, I think there's something more to this that she's going to
Yeah.
discover while being at this palace
Yeah.
that might make things a little maybe complicated for trying to get rid of the fold and things like that. And learning about the other side of the fold, because
Right.
that is a scene in the TV show I did see about the other side of the fold.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, like what if the Darkling is actually royalty, but he hasn't been. Like, what if the king, I don't know, stole the throne or something, and they discover there's a true bloodline or something like that? Yeah,
we'll find out, right?
we will. We will. We've got
So
like
that's hilarious.
150 pages.
I'm excited to finish reading with you. In fact, I'm finishing at the book club. I'm excited to finish reading with all you guys listening. So if you are just joining us, like, come along for the ride. Let's keep reading. Let's keep going. Let's finish this book together. Join us on the app Fable.
Right.
Yeah, I
If
definitely can't
you,
wait to like recap this at the end. This is so interesting, like breaking it down halfway. I
I
don't think we've
know.
never done this.
And if you've already read it, like, please just come along for the ride and be entertained by all of our
Oh my God,
musings
I'm
and
sure
guesses.
they're so laughing. I think that we're gonna look back at this and like laugh and be like, why did we think that? Like,
Yeah,
where did
what were
we
we
get
doing?
that from?
But I'm okay with that.
Yeah, same,
Um,
because it feels authentic.
yeah. And I love that, it's been more than 10 years and we're still guessing. And like
And
even
we
the
haven't
TV
been really
show.
spoiled, which is
No,
insane.
yeah. The TV
That's
show's been
hard.
out and we're still not, so
And I
props
watched
to
the first
us.
season.
I mean, I am impressed by how much you remembered. So like you should give yourself
I
credit for
am
that.
impressed. That show came out like post COVID, I think. So like I am impressed that I like
Yeah.
remembered enough of it.
Yeah.
I remember more like Jesper's in the show, so I remember him. So we'll see. We'll see where this goes. I can't
So
wait. I honestly like. I'm more excited to finish this so we could just rewatch the show
just
together.
yeah, I know. I was like, let's do it. Also, I just love all of the covers, so I just got all of the books.
They
And
are very pretty.
I think they're beautiful. Siege and Storm, that like minty dragon or whatever. I love it. I can't wait
Mm.
to read that and just be carrying it around. I was like reading a physical book at the gym and I was like, look at me. Like everyone look at me, guys.
I was gonna ask how you do that because I know that you run with your Kindle. I was like, did you run with this?
No, I would like walk and I would read and then I would like flip it and put it down and then I would run for like, I don't know, a minute and then I would just flip back and forth.
You probably were
That's
like,
why
damn, this girl's committed.
I mean, I didn't get too much reading done that day, but that's okay. Do what you gotta do, you know?
Do you do other things while reading? Like you do like the work, like other workouts while reading, like not just running. Like you're like lifting things and holding the book.
No, I've never been that deep. I've done
Okay.
there's like a rowing machine. I've done that, but like obviously not with a physical book. I think that may have been either the Kindle or an audiobook.
Okay, audio, yeah, you could work out and do an audiobook,
Yeah,
but I was just like, I
yeah.
can imagine like you're trying to like pull things and you're like holding a book while you're doing. I'm like, my eyes can focus on the words. Like I can't do the elliptical or whatever. You're like running and walking. I can't do that.
Yeah.
My eyes couldn't focus.
I
So
think
I
I've
give you
just been
props.
doing it too long, so I've trained myself, but yes.
Well, Leigh, that's the start to your book, Leigh by Leigh.
Oh, it
Just
is.
kidding, it's not the same author.
No.
But we are in the depths of the Grishaverse. So thank you all for joining in this review. Make sure to join us on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and of
YouTube.
course, the most important, the app Fable, to discuss this with our 600 member book club. Join us on the app. Look up our name. It's just the name of our podcast, or look up Fate Tales and you'll find us there. Stay tuned for part 2 of this breakdown, where we break
Yeah.
down the second half of Shadow and Bone. If we like the setup, if you guys like the setup, we think we're going to go forward with this for the rest of the series of doing like the midway and they keep going. So excited for that. For our mini episodes, we have finished Miss Allie Hazelwood. So she has been done. We have read through and reviewed every single one of her books. So in the meantime, until she gets new publishing. We are going to do some other fun mini episodes. We have some great reviews coming of experiences we've done lately, of bookish related
Mm-hmm.
things. We have
Mm-hmm.
to finish up the Dream Harbor series, which we started way before we started Allie. So we have some books to finish up from there because there's a new one coming. So, of course, we're going to read it
Yeah.
and review it. And then we're probably going to start some other kind of a mini episode series in the near future. So we will let you all know and
Yeah.
be involved in that.
Stay tuned.
And more to come. More to come in the world of Mystic Scales and Fae Tales podcast. So thank you so much for listening. We hope that you enjoyed this review and are enjoying Shadow and Bone, and happy reading with the rest of the book.
Yes, happy reading.